Hello again to all of my curvy fashion forward dolls and my fashion forward dudes. How y'all doing? Welcome to this extra special Juneteenth edition of Coco's Couture Closet. I am Coco, and
this is my closet. This is my closet. This is my black skin. This is my black skin. This is my closet. This is my closet. Today we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate.
if you are new here, hello loves. I am so happy you decided to stop by. Please stick around, like, comment, and subscribe, and become one of Coco's curvy fashion forward dolls or dudes. And if you are already a subscriber, mwah, it's great to be back here with you in the Couture Closet. Now, whether you are a new subby or an old subby, hit that bell below, guys. Pound it so that when I upload a new video,
You can be the first to know, so you can be the first to watch. Yes, honey. Yes.
so like I said, this is a Juneteenth edition of Coco's Couture Closet. This is a Get Ready With Me featuring Juvia's Place. I've been wanting to try Juvia's Place foundation and other face products, concealer, powders, things along that nature for quite a while. And so what perfect day than Juneteenth, the day that we celebrate the last of the slaves getting their freedom in Texas. What better way than to display and review a black-owned brand and basically give you all my thoughts on it. And also during this video, I'm just going to be giving you a bit of a life update and talk to you guys about what it has been like being a 32-year-old dark-skinned African-American woman living in America, 32 years of age, working in corporate America with a child and being married. What all of that, basically what my life has been like being African-American in America. And so I hope you all enjoyed this. If you all would like, also in the video, I'm going to be giving you all a brief synopsis of exactly Juneteenth and why we celebrate it. But if you would like more of an in-depth, feel free to follow me on my social media platforms. I am Dr. Coco_curves on both Instagram and TikTok. And right now on Instagram, I have some excellent links in my feed that will take you to some powerful speakers who will basically break down Juneteenth in its entirety so that you can be aware and be knowledgeable of why we celebrate. Again, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this Juvia's Place review, and I'll see you at the end. Bye. Hey y'all. So I wanted to come on camera and do a get ready with me. My family and I are about to take some photos in celebration of Juneteenth. And so let me scoop this back a little bit so it's not shaking the camera. And so I wanted to get on camera and tell you guys, give you guys a little bit of information. To be completely honest, I am still learning every day more and more about Juneteenth, but I'm going to give you more so the overview of what I got. Also, I am going to share my experience. I am a 32-year-old dark-skinned African-American woman living in the United States with a child and a husband, and I work in corporate America as well as do YouTube. And I'm going to tell you what my experiences have been like, as much as I can, you know, without rambling on and on while I do my makeup. I already did my brows off camera because y'all have made it crystal clear that y'all not checking for my dark ass eyebrows. So we just gonna roll right along. The reason that I brought this brow tamer, but I think I'm gonna take it back because it's supposed to be called waterproof. It's waterproof brow gel, but for some reason it's got glitter in it, and I don't know what that's about. And so I really think it low-key just ruined my eyebrows. Then I'm gonna have to go over them with this pencil again because it's giving me this weird glitter that I did not ask for at all. So let me just go over that real quick. Did y'all see that on my eyebrows, that glitter? Let me move there we go, my mirror a little better so I don't constantly have to lean over and be out of focus. Okay, so from what I've gathered from Juneteenth. Oh, also, like I said in the intro, this is going to be featuring as Juvias Place new foundation and concealer and powder because I have not tried them yet. And I've also, my face, I'm going to be trying my best to use inclusive brands that have spoken out and shown solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, and also some Black brands for the products that I didn't get from Juvia's Place. But the foundation of this is a review of the Juvia's Place foundation, concealer, and powder, their new face products. So from what I gathered, Juneteenth for the Black culture and the African American community is the day that General Gordon went to Galveston, Texas, and let the slaves know that they were free. If you all know anything about history and like the economy and stuff, Texas has always functioned. I already put my primer on. I am using e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. I really like it. I'll have a review coming on this later because I'm going to compare it to the Tatcha Silk Canvas because it's very much like it, even in its texture. So this will be coming soon. But I feel like e.l.f., it has always been really inclusive. It's always been reasonably priced, and it's always been a good go-to for the girls. So that's why I chose e.l.f. to use as a primer. So anyway, basically, Texas has always functioned like its own entity, like it's separate from the whole United States. Even when we had the economic boom, I think it was like in 2018, where the stock markets crashed and everything, and people were losing their jobs. It wasn't as high as what we've seen with Corona as far as the jobs being lost, but basically houses were foreclosed everywhere. And if you notice, Texas was still booming. Texas economy was still booming. Their job market was booming, and a lot of Black people, we were relocated to Texas because the market, you know, was so fruitful there. But that just goes to show you Texas has always functioned as its own entity. You guys know that I have been, I thought I got the Juvia's Place concealer. I think I got the foundation. Oh, no, I did get the concealer. Okay, cool. Texas has always functioned as its own entity. So they didn't tell their slaves basically that they were free. And still had them functioning as slaves. Why? Because they didn't have anyone to pick their crops. And so they were struggling to figure out how they were going to pick their crops because they always had slaves to do so. So that was the day that, to my knowledge, from my understanding, those were the last of the slaves who didn't know that they were free. And so that is what Juneteenth represents, the true ending of, you know, the last of the slaves in slavery, you know. But as we know, and history tells us, Black history, that a lot of the slaves that were free went on to still continue to crop for their masters because they didn't have anywhere to go. Because even though you were free, you could still be hung. Their racism is still everywhere. You know, you weren't safe to a certain extent, especially in the South. So a lot of slaves would stay on the property, would stay on the plantations, and continue to crop in exchange for a room and board for themselves and their families. So that's just what I gathered so far, a higher up overview. If you all want more detailed information about Juneteenth, I have some amazing links on my Instagram, Dr. Coco_curves, on my feed that will direct you to a bunch of very educated individuals who are breaking down the true essence of Juneteenth in celebration of today. So today we celebrate African American independence and just being Black all together. So I'm Black every day, but today, honey, I'm blackity black, honey. I'm not African American. I'm not a person of color. No, I'm Black, flat out. I'm Black. So I'm going to be using the Juvias Place Concealer. You all, if you watch my live feeds on Facebook, you know that I've been doing the reverse of applying my makeup and putting my concealer and stuff on under my foundation. So this is the Juvias Place Concealer. I'm going to make sure I'm in focus. Okay, this is the Juvias Place Concealer, and this is in the color is this? I just saw it. Oh, okay, so they're numbers. So this is Magic Concealer number 10. Okay, so Juvia's Place is using numbers. So, I was born, I am 32 years old. I have an 8-month-old daughter. I have 2 sisters. I have a husband, and I want to say 8 brothers on my father's side. So I was born in 1988 in Chicago, on the South Side, what we refer to as the low end. So technically I don't consider myself a South Sider. I consider myself being from the low end. If you're from Chicago, then you know exactly what I mean when I say that. So anyway, I went to our local grammar school and our local high school. I went to Drake Elementary, which is on 26 and King Drive. Is that? No, not 26. Is that 26? I think it's 28th. Yeah, 28th and King Drive. And then I went to Dunbar High School, which is right across the street from the local grammar school. Growing up, I always felt beautiful and confident because of my mother. She very much made me feel, you know, and my mother is a lighter skinned woman. I would classify her as maybe caramel skin. She's about the complexion of my daughter. You've seen my daughter. So my mother is about that complexion. And my mother always made us feel beautiful. I don't remember ever asking my mom why I was dark-skinned and she was not dark-skinned. I think it was because I knew that my father and my father's family was very dark, and mostly everybody in my mother's family is dark. So it really didn't come up as to why, you know, I'm not her complexion. But I do remember when I first was starting my YouTube channel, and I was telling my mom, like, you know, people want me to do a video about confidence, and not having confidence has never really been a big issue for me. And my mom was like, well, you know, when you were a little girl, you did have a moment where you were, you know, crying about being dark-skinned. And I said, really? You know, I don't remember that. Because, you know, certain trauma and things like that, a lot of times we will push it to the back of our minds and forget about it, especially when it's not something that we feel like affects us in our everyday life. And she said, yeah, you know, you were the darkest, you know, little girl in your class. And so, you know, one day some of your classmates were teasing you about being dark skinned, and you came home and you were crying, and you know you were upset, and she said that her and my sister's father were basically, and my sister's father, he's also my mother's complexion. And so my sister's father was and my mother was like, you know, you are beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you that you are not beautiful. I should have let this dry down a little. It's kind of liquidy. Yeah, I'm gonna let the other side dry down some because it's a little liquidy, but I like it. It's definitely full coverage. I'll tell you that. Wow, this is nice. So while this dries down a little bit, I'm going to put on my contour. So for contour, I'm going to use Fenty Beauty because I did not get a Juvia's Place contour, even though I thought I did. So I'm going to let the rest of this dry a little, and I'm going to put my contour on and keep talking. So, you know, and she said after that, we never really had any, you know, conversations about, you know, being dark skinned being a negative thing, or, you know, you feeling like that, because, you know, it only really took one time for someone to remind you of your beauty as a dark skinned girl for you to realize that and not question it again. So yeah, that was kind of, you know, and so I went through grammar school and high school, like, I was always plus size. I've been plus size my whole life, probably after the 3rd grade, I want to say. I was put on steroids for my asthma because it was real bad at one point, and the steroid asthma inhaler basically blew me up overnight. And so I was really small, and then I got really big. And so, but because I never really remember caring that I was, you know, had put on that much weight that fast. I was a young girl. I really didn't, you know, understand it that much. I was really young, like third, 4th grade, probably 3rd grade when I started to put on, you know, the weight. I'm remembering myself in a science fair, and that's as far back as I can remember being heavier. And I'm thinking about a science fair picture that we took. And I'm thinking, yeah, I was heavy in that. And so that's probably around the time when I started to gain the weight. And so my whole, like, grammar school and high school, I was, I wouldn't say I was teased. I was teased a little bit at a younger age, probably like 2nd and 3rd grade. I was teased a little bit. And because I feel like somewhere along the line, everybody gets teased. Like, the same people who teased me got teased themselves, whether it was for, you know, we were petty in grammar school, so we would tease girls, and I teased too, you know. Let me not play the victim here as if I was not someone who teased people, because I got teased, but I also teased people too. And, you know, because we were petty in grammar school, we were petty girls. And so we would tease people about things like wearing kitchen micro braids instead of letting instead of your mom paying the Africans to do your hair. Like, we were super petty. And, or tease, oh, is your dress Gucci? Is that material real Gucci? Like, we would tease each other over stuff like that. So we were really petty growing up on the low end, because a lot of people had low income in Section 8 and lived in Section 8, you know, apartments and stuff, but they were very, like, flashy. So, like, the Gucci and all this and that, and getting, you know, I can remember going to school with kids who wore uniforms with their names in the sweaters and stuff like that. And you know, doing stuff like getting micro braids and wearing fake nails at a young age, having a cell phone, and, you know, stuff like that. And so we were very materialistic as kids growing up on the low end, because we were so close to downtown. It was almost like we were in an effort to fit in, or our parents, you know, for us to fit in with that downtown flashy lifestyle. So so I can't say, you know, that I didn't tease, you know, somewhat, but I was, and the main things that I was teased about were my weight and my skin complexion. My skin complexion was always, I always felt like, you know, now that I'm grown, I'm like, yep, I'm dark skinned. Yep, I'm plus size. What's next? Because I'm so used to that being people's first go-to and that's people in society anyway. Your first go-to, their first go-to when people are uneducated and stuff is the way you look, your features. And so my dark skin, you know, my bigger nose, my bigger, you know, lips, my features that are now being celebrated, you know, at the time were features that would get me teased, you know. And so I always, you know, find that interesting. And I always say, you know, for, you know, people who now all of a sudden, and men, this goes for men and women, who want to date dark-skinned women because, oh, it looks good for your all pro-black image, save it. Please save it, because my sisters, and this is speaking as a married woman, my sisters deserve better. I'm not going to allow my sisters to be used as, for your all black, you know, wanna be down image like they like. And I got that from the movie I pulled that from was School Days. Y'all, if you old enough, you remember the scene where she came at Lawrence Fishburne's character because she felt like he didn't really care about her, that he just dated her because she was the darkest girl on campus. And so I feel like that's going to be something that's happening now, is that a lot of people want to date dark-skinned women, have dark-skinned babies now, when just a couple of months ago, you know, before the, you know, tragic murder of George Floyd, everybody wanted a racially ambiguous baby. Everybody wanted to marry a racially ambiguous woman so their child, excuse my phone, so that their child didn't have to deal with being a dark-skinned black child. You know what I'm saying? They could be considered a biracial child. So keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. But anyway, so even in high school, you know, when I was in I wouldn't even say late grammar school. When I was in grammar school, probably about 6th grade, I developed a voice for myself, and I wasn't going to let people talk crazy to me. And so we would go back and forth. And so in doing so, I gained a certain amount of popularity, which I carried over into high school as far as personality wise. So I'm very social, and because I'm very social, it will only be a select group of weirdos who would try to approach me and say something rude about me being black, or being really dark skinned, or me being plus size. But my response was always, yep, but in 5th period, and I said this in my first video when I introduced myself, I said, yep, but when 5th period come, you're going to be looking to cheat off my black ass math test. So get your stupid ass down to the library and catch up on your reading. So because I've always been really smart, and so that's always been, you know, my thing. I've always been very smart, and even in grammar school. And so when I left high school, I got a full rise academic scholarship to Central State University through a program called Project 100. So I ended up going to Central because I wanted to continue to twirl flag. If you guys see my intro, you know I twirl flag. I've done that since freshman year of high school, and all the way through college. It actually helped somewhat to pay for college for me. So this concealer spreads a lot. So as far as forehead highlight, you don't need to see how much I'm having to spread this out. You don't need to do a lot for forehead highlight, because this concealer is very, it spreads a lot, but I like it. It's definitely full coverage. I could see using this concealer as a foundation because of how you less is more with this concealer. I'm gonna say that less is definitely more. So when I went away to college, I really didn't have the problem of anybody like. People will occasionally say, you know, bring your black ass here, you know, or something silly like, you know, but it will always be in a, you know, what I took it as in a joking manner, because it was never meant to. It depends on, like, I don't want to say, you know, it depends on how it's said, because if I got a friend and my friend is like, girl, shut your black ass up, you know, or something like that, like, it's different to me, you know. And so you know, but at the same time, my dark skin has always been a focal point. You want to try to shed somebody dark skin up, say your black ass, and, you know, see how they react. Because some dark skinned women still carry a complex from childhood and from early adolescence from being teased a lot. Everybody is not able to use their voice and their mind to avoid being teased. It's just not, you know, everybody. For me, I was able to do that, but that's not the norm for everybody. I wish it was, and that's why I started my channel, to encourage young girls, you know, that you're beautiful at any size, any age, any, you know, any skin complexion. So, but I will say that because of those, you know, that the teasing that happened, you know, or because, you know, hearing, oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl, or, you know, y'all dark-skinned girls are crazy, or, you know, this, that, it made me a little reserved when dealing with lighter-skinned women. It made me, up until my daughter was born, honey, I had all the light-skinned jokes. I say that my daughter, so I'm about to use the powder. I'm sorry. It's in the color Kalahari. And this is the I Am Magic setting powder. I love their packaging. Oh my gosh. It's just so, you know. So, so many black queens to look at. So it made me very, that's some light skin shit. You know what I'm saying? Made me very, made me a colorist to a certain extent. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie, because I keep 100 on my channel. It made me a colorist to a certain extent. It made me less tolerable of lighter skinned women and lighter skinned men. I always depict in my mind lighter skinned men as being soft, because it would usually be a lighter skinned man that would be like, oh, you cute for a dark skinned girl. Or, you know, when, say, you go on a blind date and you get there and he's super light and you super dark, and now all of a sudden it's real awkward. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't like dark-skinned girls. Or being told, I don't date dark-skinned girls. Or dating someone that you slowly learn does not want to let people know y'all are dating because you're dark-skinned. So it did give me a bit of a, you know, colorist attitude towards light-skinned women and men. And my daughter shut that down immediately. When my daughter was born, and you all see that my daughter is of like a caramel complexion, I felt like that was God telling me, slow your roll. Remember that you are beautiful as a dark-skinned woman, but you are also beautiful as a black woman, and all shades of black is beautiful. Here go your caramel skinned daughter. So I remember when my daughter, and I can't even lie, like, I was a little shocked that my daughter was as light as she is. And so, you know, I used to call her my little uncooked biscuit, you know, when she was first born. And so, but then I had to check my own colorist attitude, you know. And so, when I got to college and I was, you know, dating a lot more, it was mixed feelings about my skin color. Some people thought that I was gorgeous, and some people thought that I was just dark-skinned and that they don't date dark-skinned girls. I always, and then, you know, I respect the fact that there are light-skinned individuals who will say, you know, I struggle as a light-skinned woman. You know, I get teased for being light-skinned. You know, I get called, you know, red bone and teased for being light-skinned. And I understand that, but let me make something clear. You have never been told you're pretty for a light-skinned girl. You have never been told, you know, oh, you know, we only looking for one dark-skinned girl for this, or, you know, one, you know, you don't, our struggles are completely different. And so when I speak about what I've gone through, is not to, you know, lessen other people's struggle. It's just to express mine. So when I got to college, again, I've always been very social. And so when I got to college, it was the same thing. I'm about to use the I Am Magic Velvet Matte Foundation in the color Canoe 150. Yeah, in the color Canoe 150. And I hope I'm saying that right. So, my dating life prior to meeting my husband, I've always dated dark-skinned men, because the same way that, you know, some women have some men view dark-skinned women a certain way, that led me to view light-skinned men a certain way. And so most of the time I would gravitate towards dating dark-skinned men. I mean, look at my husband, he's dark-skinned, you know. And so, but I feel like a lot of that developed over time by being looked over basically by light-skinned men. Not all light-skinned men, but, you know, by light-skinned men in general, helped me develop, you know, is what led to me feeling like, you know, okay, dark-skinned men, light-skinned men, y'all soft anyway. I don't want y'all anyway. You know, so, yeah, so fast forward, college, I really didn't struggle with my skin complexion. By that time, I was too comfortable in my skin to struggle with my skin complexion. And so, but my dating life, you know, was another story, because like I said, I would run into men who would say that you're cute for it, and that would be a complete turn off. Like, I will slam the door in your face, or put you out my house, or, you know, walk away from our date if you ever say you're cute for a dark-skinned woman to me. So, oh, that's a nice color. I think that's perfect. I'm going to just start with that, because that's kind of a lot. So, oh, I need to spray my brush. So, then we go into corporate America. When I graduate from college, I immediately want to go into corporate. Ooh, that's red. Ooh, Lord. I don't think that's the right color. Ooh, that's orange. Ooh, that's orange. Ooh, we're going to have to mix this with something, because that's orange. That is very orange. Okay, let me go grab something. I'll be right back. So I'm back. I grabbed my NYX, Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I feel like NYX would be considered another brand who is inclusive as to what they sell. I mean, look how dark this foundation is. Like, you know. And so I also use NYX on my brows. So, yeah, I'll be taking that Juvias place back, because this is red. So, I'm hoping this will help it. But it's still showing up super red. I hope I can fix this. And I don't show up like looking like a Oompa Loompa and be orange in my pictures. So, fast forward, like I said, I went into corporate America straight after college. It took me a while because the job market was trash, because I feel like the college and the United States as a whole effed over millennials. And so, and I am a millennial, in case you all don't know. I do qualify, you know, my age group is of a millennial. And so, there were really no jobs for us. And so when I finally did get my foot in the door to corporate America, it took me so long to climb the ladder past entry level, because, and I was told everything from I'm too loud, you know, and these were by Black women who were in the company who basically were looking at me because I was smart, but I wasn't getting ahead. And so they would take, you know, they wanted to take me under their wing and mentor me and stuff like that. But these were also Black women who I felt like had conformed so that they could get ahead. And so I wasn't sure how much I wanted to learn from them anyway, because I wasn't in the market for conforming to fit into the box that, you know, they felt like was the only type of black woman that was going to get ahead. But in the beginning, I did. I changed up my wardrobe. I changed up my whole look, my way. Like, ooh, this looks terrible. God, oh, that looks terrible. I changed up, you know, the way, you know, not so much the way I spoke, because I always had a very professional speech. Even to the point, like, when I got home from school, like, my friends would tease me and stuff. Oh, you proper now. Oh, you didn't spend 5 years in Ohio at school. Now you proper and all this and that. And I didn't see that at all. So, but anyway, that's for a whole nother conversation. But, oh, I do not like this foundation, y'all. I am not a fan. I'm a fan of the coverage, but I'm not a fan of the color. I have to, and see, this is the only problem with not being able to swatch at makeup counters anymore because of everything that's going on with the pandemic and Corona, is that you have to eyeball everything. But luckily, I feel like it's showing up way better on camera than what I see. I hope so, because I'm not doing my makeup all the way over from scratch. So, anyway, it took me a long time to climb the corporate ladder. And like I said, at first I did change up a lot in order to fit in. Like when I finally got promoted, I redid my whole wardrobe just so I can make sure that I'm, quote unquote, made the best impression for the dominant culture who was basically running our office. So, who was basically running and managing our office. But I was overlooked for about 4 different Caucasian men who I trained. And so that right there was a slap in the face as a, you know, as a melanated woman. Of course, that made me a little irritable, as it would anybody. So before, you know, you feel like that, you know, black women have a chip on our shoulder and all this and that, or we're angry black women, know our struggle first. Know our struggle. Know what it took for us to get into the positions of power that we're in, because I've been told on multiple occasions, oh, you are very hostile, you know, in black, you know, you're not black woman, but you can be come off as a bit hostile, or you can come off as a bit aggressive. But when I do it, I'm an angry black woman. But when the Caucasian male does it, he's dominant. He's asserting his authority. He's dominating a room. That's what we want to see. You know, we want our leaders to be that, until your leader has a vagina. And let's just keep it 100, because y'all didn't want to see a dominant woman in Hillary Clinton. You know, y'all talked about her pantsuits and, oh, she's not feminine and all this and that. And, you know, she's an angry woman and she's a bitter woman and everything, because y'all only like to see dominance when it has a penis. And we just gotta, it's getting old. So anyway, I struck, you know, when I got into upper management and everything, I became a very dominant in that role, because I saw the people who were getting ahead. They didn't look like me, but I saw the people getting ahead behave in that manner. So if that's what, you know, if that's what sells and that's what, you know, you all need as management, then that's what I'm going to produce. And so that in turn led me to clash, you know, with a couple of managers at my old job, and led me to start looking for new positions, you know, and which is what led me to Iowa. I'm just adding a little bit more concealer under my eye, not a lot, literally just like this much, because it spreads really, really, you know, heavily. And I don't want a whole lot of it. So I'm just adding a little more, a few dots of it. So it's always been a focal point, you know, for my everyday life. You know, oh, she's an angry black woman. Oh, you know, she comes off as very aggressive, you know, because if I'm not aggressive and I don't come off as slightly intimidating in this corporate environment full of middle-aged white men who want to dominate everything, then I won't get respected. then I won't get the respect that I feel like I've earned and deserved. And that's just the bottom line. So fast forward to now. And, you know, we have the tragic murder, call it what it is, of George Floyd, the tragic murder of Breonna Taylor in her own home. And so many, you know, African Americans who have lost their lives due to police brutality or due to the hands of the dominant culture. And now, you know, everyone wants to be down. Everyone wants to understand. Everyone wants to say, educate me. But do you really want to learn? Or do you just want to learn because it's popular now to know? Ask yourself that before you ask a black woman or a black man to educate you about Juneteenth, to educate you about Black Lives Matter. Do you really want to know, or do you just want to know because it's trending right now? And as black people, we can't let this trend fail. We can't let this trend pass us by, and let this trend, let Black Lives Matter be a trend. It needs to be more than a trend. It needs to be something that is very vocal in your everyday life. And now as an adult, I deal with things like living in Iowa, which is a Republican state, and which is a predominantly white state, and having neighbors who think that it's okay to have stickers in their trucks, in the back of their trucks, that say, that have two giant Confederate flags that say it's not racist, it's my history. And then another one that says rebel. Well, your history is fucking racist. And that's just what it is. Your history is fucking racist. Call it like it is. Or, you know, why can't we say all lives matter? You can't say all lives matter. Why? Because we know that. You don't have to remind everybody that all lives matter. All lives are not the ones that are getting brutally murdered by the police or by white civilians claiming that they're afraid of us. It's black lives who are constantly being lost. So that's why Black Lives Matter is a separate hashtag from All Lives Matter, because all lives don't have to be reminded about. But black lives have to be reminded that, hell, we should be, treat us like y'all treat these pets. Y'all put these pets on a pedestal and will give people life in prison, but won't even, where's the arrest for the officers that murdered Breonna Taylor? I didn't come on here to be aggressive, so let me calm down. Because I didn't come on here to be aggressive. I came on here, if anything, to share my story, to share what I've experienced being a black woman in America. And to be honest, America, you could do better. You could do better. I'm applying some setting powder under my eye. I'm hoping that it blends like my other one that I've been using, that I've been really liking, my Sunspin. I don't know who makes Sunspin, but oh yeah, this is nice. Cause I don't bake. I don't bake because it flashes back no matter what powder I use. So I don't bake. I blend it in. I pat it in, and I like how it looks like that. And this blends very well. It blends in like skin. And so I really like that. And you even still have some black people who are like, no, I'm not celebrating Juneteenth. No. And I feel like that's happening a lot with the older generation. And so as the younger generation, we need to educate them. Why it's important to celebrate Juneteenth? Because to be honest, just like, the dominant culture passes on their history to their kids, and teaches them the importance about 4th of July and Independence Day and everything like that, we need to do the same for our children and the important dates that shape our culture as well. And I will be teaching my daughter about Juneteenth. I will be teaching her the importance of how beautiful she is, no matter what complexion. If she wants to know, if she asks me one day, you know, Mama, why are you in that dark? You know, and I'm not. Then I'm going to tell her. Genetics. That's it. Your grandma light skin. I mean, your grandma is your complexion. Your other grandma is almost your complexion. You know, your auntie is your complexion. Your one of your uncles is your complexion. You know, it's just genetics. But you're still black and you're still beautiful, no matter what complexion you are. And that is something that I've learned in my adult life, because I'm very pro. I only have 3 light-skinned friends. I don't really do light-skinned people. That's me prior to having my daughter. Now, I have to change my whole mentality about the way I speak about everything. And my own, you know, and address my own indiscretions with, with systematic racism leading to colorism within the black community. I have to address what role I play in that. So I am going to use my L'Oreal just because I don't see the one I'm really looking for. L'Oreal could do better though. Just keeping it 100. L'Oreal could do better with their complexion ranges. Because some of their stuff literally only has like 12 colors, and that's not okay. So L'Oreal could do better, but I'm going to go ahead and use it just for the purpose of this video to save time. So let's see. So I'm going to add my lashes. I'm going to be using Allure London Gilded False Minks. So I hope that before anyone tries to peg, another black woman as just an angry, bitter black woman, understand her struggle. Understand what she's been through to get to the top. You know what I'm saying? Understand how much clawing she had to do. In corporate America, it'll be 8 black women trying to get to the top, and only one of us will ever make it. And I lived that. I lived feeling like I was in a crab in a barrel trying to get to the top. I was in, I remember being in my position waiting to get ahead, and the last people left standing for a promotion that had been waiting had been there like 2 years prior to me even getting there. So now I'm fighting against women for a promotion who I know deserve it just as bad as I do. But now I got to care only about myself because I need to get ahead too. And the only thing that separated me from them and pulled me ahead was the fact that I got an education, that I have an education to stand on. And they didn't. Well, these are pretty and fluffy. What y'all think it is? Go grab my eyeliner. I'll be right back. Now I am using Beauty Bakery's Better Not Bitter Coffee and Cocoa palette. I'm going to use this for both blush and highlighter. If you all don't know, Lord Beauty Bakery is a black-owned brand. I'm going to use La Vida Mocha. That's this reddish color here as, as a blush. Ooh, that's real red. I might have to go over this with my powder because it's coming off real red. And I'm just moving it up and down the apples of my cheek. So now what I'm just about to do is take my big brush and I'm going to go over that a little bit to tone it down. Just like that. Yeah. And that's it. Then I am going to take my fan brush and take anti-depresso. I guess that's supposed to be like espresso. And I'm going to use it as a highlighter. So I'm just putting a little bit in my brow bone because I'm not wearing any shadow. I'll put a little on my nose, and I'm also going to put a little bit on my Cupid's bow. So now I'm going to use ColourPop in the color BFF3. And I feel like ColourPop is a good brand for the girls. I feel like a lot of makeup artists use ColourPop. For my lips, I'm going to use So Juicy by ColourPop in the color All Talk. And then I'm just going to redefine my mode, and then we'll be done. All right, so this is my Juneteenth look. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to get back on camera once I'm dressed and everything. And Black Lives Matter. Catch y'all in a second. So this is the final look. You can just call me Angela Davis, honey, because I'm fighting the power. Yes, I am here for this. Now, I asked my husband how he felt about me wearing a natural full time, like forever, and he was like, I'm for it. I think he likes the idea of not seeing me, you know, with a natural, with a fro, what I look like with a fro all the time. So I ain't making no promises, because I love my weave. I can't lie. I'm not going to sit here in front on camera just because I'm wearing a fro. Don't mean I love my weave. But anyway, I hope that this video was very informative to you. I hope that the next time it went in the back of your mind, you decide to think that, oh, she's angry. Oh, he's angry. Oh, why are they so angry? That you first take a step back and learn your history and learn our history. Until next time, happy Juneteenth. Stay tuned for an upcoming video. I have an amazing giveaway announcement for us reaching 3K. I love you guys. And like I always say, bring your mama, bring your sister, bring your auntie, bring your cousin, bring your gay uncle, baby. Hell, bring your baby. Because we got room. And there is always room for curves in Coco's Couture Closet. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Remember, Black Lives Matter, and we know that all lives matter, but do you know that Black lives are included in that? Stay blessed.